As the fourth largest country in the world, with a population of over 340 million people, the American dream has gaps so large that you can drive for hours without seeing a soul, just the whistling wind and emptiness to keep you company. We're talking about states so vast and empty that they're larger than Japan but only have about 1 million people living there. We're talking about states so vast and empty that they're 177% larger than Florida but have fewer residents than Jacksonville. Yes, these places are as empty as if there were no life. But what's wrong with these ghost states? Well, buckle up, because we're going to dive into the top 9 states where no one seems to live, and we're going to find out why. Number 1. Alaska. Let's begin with a state so vast and untamed that it's nearly a world of its own, Alaska. Imagine glaciers the size of entire cities, the sun never setting in summer, and night skies painted with dancing auroras. Here's a surprising truth: this spectacular wilderness is home to fewer people than the city of San Francisco. Why? And could this icy expanse hold the key to affordable living for adventurous retirees? Alaska offers unique benefits, but they come at a cost. On the plus side, there's no state income tax, and many areas are exempt from sales tax, putting extra money directly in your pocket. Residents even receive an annual dividend from the state's oil resources, amounting to approximately $1,300 each year. For nature enthusiasts, Alaska provides free outdoor adventures like fishing, hiking, and wildlife watching. However, its challenges are as formidable as its beauty. Goods are notoriously expensive due to shipping costs. A gallon of milk might set you back $5 to $7, nearly double the national average. Utilities are sky high as well, with heating bills soaring during the harsh winters. Picture loading your cart with a few basics and handing over a $100 bill. That's the cost of living on the edge of the world. Alaska's geography and climate amplify its extremes. Standing before Denali, the highest peak in North America, or kayaking through glacier-fed waters alongside breaching humpback whales is breathtaking. But winter isn't for the faint of heart. In Fairbanks, temperatures can plunge to minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, with daylight lasting only a few hours during the darkest months. Add to this the isolation and limited infrastructure. There are just 16,000 miles of highway in a state twice the size of Texas. This remoteness begs the question: can you endure 4 hours of daylight and bone-chilling cold for a chance to live in such pristine beauty? Despite these obstacles, Alaska fosters tightly knit communities built on shared experiences and mutual survival. In a state with just over 733,000 people spread across a massive area, neighbors become lifelines. Whether borrowing a snowplow during a storm or attending the annual Iditarod Trail sled dog race, Alaskans embrace a culture rooted in resilience and connection. The state's rich Alaska Native heritage deepens its cultural identity, with traditions like totem carving and subsistence fishing offering a unique glimpse into a world far removed from bustling urban centers. If Alaska seems too remote, don't worry. Next, we're heading south to explore a place where the winds whisper across open plains and opportunities may surprise you. Stay tuned. Number 2. Wyoming. Wyoming, the state with more pronghorn antelope than people, is a place where the sky seems endless and the land stretches as far as the horizon. Imagine standing beneath that vast, open sky, with the wind howling across expansive plains so wide you could drive for hours without seeing another soul. Yet, with a population density of only 6 people per square mile, you might wonder what makes Wyoming so sparsely populated. And could this be a hidden paradise for those seeking escape from the hustle and bustle of city life? For decades, Wyoming thrived on its coal industry, powering much of the United States electrical grid and transforming towns like Gillette into bustling hubs of activity. However, as demand for coal has waned, the state is undergoing a transformation. Today, Wyoming is harnessing its greatest natural resource, its relentless wind, to lead the way in renewable energy. Vast wind farms now generate clean energy, opening up new opportunities and signaling the state's resilience and adaptability in the face of change. Wyoming's affordability is another factor drawing the attention of retirees and budget-conscious individuals. With no state income tax, residents get to keep more of their money, a particularly valuable perk for those on a fixed income. Housing remains modestly priced, with the median home value around $317,000 in the year 2024, significantly cheaper than the national urban average. In rural areas, homes can cost as little as $150,000, making Wyoming an attractive choice for those seeking a simpler lifestyle. However, the trade-offs are clear. Groceries and essentials tend to be more expensive in remote towns due to transportation costs and Wyoming's harsh weather conditions, which add another layer of challenge. Winters are long and frigid, with temperatures often plunging below -20 degrees Fahrenheit in snowstorms that can cut off roads and communities for days. Summers, though short, bring scorching heat to the plains. Conversely, for the right person, Wyoming's vast landscapes and tranquility offer unparalleled rewards. Picture the sound of wind howling across the open plains, barn roofs creaking, and tumbleweeds rolling as the snow-capped peaks of the Rocky Mountains glimmer in the distance. Here, you can escape the noise and chaos of city life, trading rush-hour traffic for serene sunsets and star-filled nights. In Wyoming's smaller communities, people look out for each other, forming tight bonds born of shared resilience. For nature enthusiasts, the state's outdoor activities are unmatched, from horseback riding across wide-open prairies to fishing in pristine rivers. But Wyoming isn't just clinging to its rugged charm, it's evolving. As wind energy projects expand, they are bringing new economic opportunities to regions hit hardest by coal's decline. If Wyoming seems too remote or challenging, don't worry, we'll take you to places where majestic mountains and cowboy culture take center stage. But beware, life there is not as idyllic as it may appear. If you're ready to explore, let us know by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell. Number 3. Montana. Montana is a land of breathtaking beauty, where snow-capped mountains touch the sky, rivers flow through lush green valleys, and sunsets stretch across an endless horizon. This state is larger than Japan, yet fewer than 1.2 million people call it home, roughly one person for every 10 square miles. While the scenery is awe-inspiring, the challenges are equally daunting. Summers can reach scorching temperatures above 95 degrees Fahrenheit, while winters plunge below -20 degrees Fahrenheit, with blizzards isolating entire towns. Even in the state's largest city, Billings, the population is just about 100,000 people, and getting to a hospital or grocery store in remote areas can feel like planning an expedition. Despite these hurdles, Montana remains a haven for those seeking solitude, affordability, and a slower pace of life. Housing in rural areas is relatively affordable, with the median home value hovering around $390,000 as of the year 2024. The lack of a sales tax eases the burden on everyday expenses. However, cities like Bozeman have seen housing costs skyrocket as retirees and remote workers flock to the area, drawn by its majestic landscapes and modern amenities. Montana's economy revolves around agriculture, tourism, and small businesses, leaving limited employment opportunities outside of these industries. This has driven many young residents to seek better opportunities elsewhere, contributing to the state's sparse population. Interestingly, this very emptiness is appealing to those who crave space and freedom. The state's small communities foster tight-knit relationships, where neighbors look out for each other, and local festivals celebrate the state's rich Wild West heritage. For outdoor enthusiasts, Montana is paradise, with Glacier and Yellowstone national parks offering endless opportunities for hiking, fishing, and exploring the great outdoors. But this rugged beauty demands resilience. Can you handle hot summers, cold winters, and long treks to meet basic needs? For some, the trade-off is worth it, as Montana offers a level of tranquility and independence that few other places can match. As more people discover Montana, the state's identity may face a crossroads. The influx of new residents could bring economic opportunities, but rising housing costs and population growth may threaten the small-town charm. Montana is a paradox, a land of extremes that attracts dreamers and adventurers alike. For the right person, it is a chance to escape the chaos of city life and reconnect with nature. If Montana intrigues you, just wait until you hear about a state where oil booms and ghost towns collide, creating both opportunity and mystery. Stay tuned. Number 4. North Dakota. North Dakota, a state of endless plains, freezing winters, and scorching summers, is home to fewer than 800,000 residents, a population that could fit within a few city blocks. The vast, stunning Great Plains and the rugged Badlands offer breathtaking beauty, but the isolation and extreme weather make life here challenging. Imagine filling up your gas tank at the last station for the next 100 miles, or standing on a ridge in the Badlands, gazing at hues of red, orange, and gold stretching endlessly under an expansive sky. That vastness, which inspires awe, can also evoke an unsettling emptiness, with winters plunging below 30 degrees Fahrenheit and summers soaring past 90 degrees Fahrenheit, compounded by unpredictable flash floods. The sparse population of North Dakota fosters close-knit communities, where neighbors feel like family. However, for many, the lack of big city amenities and the necessity of long drives to reach essentials can feel overwhelming. Traditionally, westward expansion bypassed this state. Although the state's economy has benefited from agricultural and oil booms, subsequent downturns have left ghost towns and fleeting opportunities in their wake. Despite these challenges, North Dakota boasts hidden advantages. Housing remains affordable, with median prices around $270,000, and the state's low unemployment rate attracts retirees and remote workers alike. For those who can handle the isolation and embrace the extremes, the state rewards with tranquil landscapes, a slower pace of life, and the freedom to roam wide-open spaces. However, access to healthcare in rural areas and the harsh climate remain concerns, raising questions about the long-term livability of this region. Will North Dakota's economy evolve to support newcomers, or will it remain a land of fleeting opportunities? For those seeking solitude, simplicity, and a chance to reflect, it might feel like home. If North Dakota's extremes seem daunting, the next state offers a similar atmosphere with a few surprises. Could this neighboring state strike the perfect balance between solitude and convenience? Stay tuned as we continue exploring the most remote corners of America. Number 5. South Dakota. South Dakota is a state where time seems to stand still, with fewer than 1 million people living on a land area that is more than 177% larger than Florida. The vast landscapes of this state are often untouched by modern life, but why is it so sparsely populated? With no state income tax, a modest median home price of $300,000 as of the year 2024, and a low cost of living, South Dakota offers a level of financial freedom that is hard to ignore. However, the isolation can be daunting. Winters often drop below -10 degrees Fahrenheit, while summers bring sweltering heat and unpredictable storms. These harsh conditions, combined with a lack of amenities and long drives to purchase necessities, have discouraged many people. Nonetheless, the state's natural beauty is undeniable, with Mount Rushmore, the rugged Badlands, and the serene Black Hills. South Dakota's scenery feels like it belongs on a postcard. Despite the extreme climate, South Dakota's small towns foster tight-knit communities where neighbors support one another, from sharing snowplows to organizing vibrant events like the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. These connections can make the isolation less lonely, but limited job opportunities in agriculture and tourism often prompt younger generations to move elsewhere. This emptiness is part of the charm for those seeking peace, space, and affordability. With quiet roads and breathtaking beauty, South Dakota offers a classic lifestyle ideal for those who value simplicity and solitude. However, challenges remain. Rural healthcare is limited, and the state's harsh winters and economic reliance on agriculture could become more pressing as climate change alters weather patterns. The future of South Dakota hangs in the balance. Will it attract more retirees and remote workers seeking freedom, or remain a land of empty fields and endless horizons? For some, the trade-off between convenience and tranquility is worth it. If this raw charm appeals to you, next, we'll explore a state of small towns and open skies that promises simplicity while posing the question, is it too simple? Stay tuned. Number 6. Nebraska. Nebraska, often called the Cornhusker State, feels like the calm eye of a vast storm, expansive, unhurried, and deeply rooted in tradition. Its rolling prairies stretch endlessly under a sky so vast that it feels like a second ocean. This is America's wheat basket, where fields of corn sway gently in the breeze, and small towns dot the horizon like relics of a simpler time. Yet, despite its fertile land and low cost of living, the average home price hovers around $260,000. Nebraska remains one of the least populated states. Why is this heartland so sparsely inhabited, and does its tranquility hold a promise for those seeking a fresh start? Living in Nebraska feels like stepping into a postcard of rural America. Picture a place where your neighbors greet you every morning, the local diner knows how you take your coffee, and the loudest sound at night is the rustling wind through the fields. Idyllic, yes, but not without its trade-offs. The economy relies heavily on agriculture, meaning non-farming and manufacturing opportunities are scarce. Younger generations have long departed for bigger cities, taking their energy and ambitions with them, leaving behind towns that can feel frozen in time. While Omaha and Lincoln offer more modern amenities, rural Nebraska remains a study in contrasts, serene yet isolated, affordable yet limited. Nebraska's landscapes are its hallmark golden fields stretching for miles, dotted with wildflowers and winding rivers. Yet the scenery isn't always as gentle as it seems. Summers bring sweltering heat and sudden storms, while winters test resilience with bone-chilling cold and heavy snowfall. Tornadoes are a constant threat during storm season, adding to the unpredictability of life here. For those willing to embrace these extremes, Nebraska offers a closeness to the land that few other places can match, a chance to breathe deeply, think clearly, and live simply. Tight-knit communities and enduring traditions form the backbone of Nebraska. Local fairs and farmers markets are gathering places filled with pride and purpose, but breaking into these closely woven circles can be a challenge. Access to healthcare is another concern, especially in rural areas, where hospitals and specialists may be hours away. For older residents, this can feel like a gamble. Yet there is a quiet strength in Nebraskans, a resilience honed by weathering both seasons and decades. For retirees or remote workers looking to escape the noise of urban life, Nebraska's tranquility may be its greatest gift. With a low cost of living, clean air, and a pace of life that contrasts sharply with the chaos of urbanization, it offers a retreat. However, the question remains for some, is it too quiet? Nebraska is a place for reflection, where time seems to stretch out and life slows to a whisper. For those seeking freedom from the hustle of the world, it can be a haven. But if its simplicity calls to you, stay tuned. We'll journey to where desert landscapes and vibrant culture create a different kind of escape. Don't miss it. Number 7. Kansas. Kansas is a state known for its vast, endless skies and a slower pace of life. Recognized as the heart of the Great Plains, it boasts rich historical and agricultural traditions, but its population continues to decline. Housing in Kansas is affordable, with the median home price estimated at approximately $290,000 in the year 2024, significantly lower than the national average. Utilities and groceries are reasonably priced, making it a budget-friendly choice for retirees or families. However, job growth remains sluggish, with opportunities primarily concentrated in agriculture, manufacturing, and tech hubs in cities like Wichita. While the expansive plains and iconic sunsets offer a sense of peace, the weather presents challenges. Tornadoes are a serious threat during storm season. Summers can be swelteringly hot and humid, and winters bring biting winds. A strong sense of community is a defining feature, with small towns fostering personal connections through events like county fairs and harvest festivals that promote togetherness. However, younger generations often leave for larger cities, leaving some towns feeling frozen in time. Traditionally, Kansas thrived as an agricultural and railroad hub, but mechanization has reduced the need for farm labor, and the Dust Bowl of the 1930s forced many families to relocate. The reliance on agriculture and its rural nature have limited the development of industries that might attract younger residents. Yet, for retirees or remote workers, the simplicity of Kansas might be its greatest strength. For those seeking a peaceful, low-cost lifestyle, Kansas offers an escape from the chaos of urban life. Low crime rates, affordable housing, and a slower pace make it an appealing choice for those willing to embrace tranquility. However, accessing healthcare in rural areas can be challenging, and outmigration continues to impact small communities. And if Kansas seems a little too quiet, stay tuned as we journey to places where vibrant deserts and unhurried living bring an entirely different kind of solitude. Number 8. New Mexico. New Mexico is not just a state, it is a canvas painted by nature and culture. Imagine a land where towering mountains glow crimson under the setting sun, vast deserts stretch endlessly, and ancient adobe homes seem frozen in time. Yet, for all its beauty, New Mexico remains one of the least densely populated states in the country. With the average cost of housing at $360,000, this place is affordable. But life here requires a unique kind of commitment. It is not for those who crave the hustle and bustle of city life, it is for those who yearn for space to think, breathe, and create. The allure of New Mexico lies in its contrasts. Cities like Santa Fe and Taos buzz with creativity, offering a vibrant mix of art markets, historical festivals, and bold flavors, such as the smoky taste of roasted green chilies. But step beyond these cultural hubs, and the silence becomes profound. Roads stretch for miles without an end in sight, interrupted only by the occasional howl of the wind or the rustle of sagebrush. Summers here are scorching hot, while winters are bone-chilling, particularly in the higher elevations. It is a landscape that is both challenging and rewarding in equal measure. New Mexico's economy is as distinctive as its scenery. Tourism, art, and agriculture fuel its heartbeat, but job opportunities are scarce in the quieter corners. Many young people leave, chasing bigger cities and brighter lights, leaving behind an aging, slower-paced population. Yet, this very characteristic draws others, those seeking simplicity, affordability, and the freedom to shape their lives on their own terms. Here, time moves differently, governed not by the rush of deadlines but by the rhythm of sunrise and starlit nights. New Mexico whispers to those who value solitude and seek inspiration in stillness. This is a state where tradition and tranquility combine to create something rare, a life less ordinary. But is its charm enough to outweigh its challenges? If the wide-open spaces of New Mexico feel too quiet, stay tuned as we explore the warmth of Appalachia in West Virginia, a state with its own rugged beauty and unique rhythm. Number 9. West Virginia. West Virginia, a state with rolling hills, dense forests, and winding rivers, is a place steeped in history and natural beauty. Yet, it remains one of the least densely populated states in the United States. Why are people leaving this picturesque Appalachian region? Is it due to economic challenges, isolation, or deeper-rooted reasons? Although West Virginia is affordable with the median home price at just $166,000 in the year 2024, and overall low living cost, job opportunities outside of fields like healthcare and tourism are very limited. Many rural areas struggle with outdated infrastructure and unreliable internet connectivity, presenting challenges for modern life. Imagine owning a cozy cabin nestled among forested hills, where your mortgage could be less than your current rent, yet the nearest hospital might be an hour away. Known as the Mountain State, West Virginia's geography is both breathtaking and remote. Its lush Appalachian terrain offers countless opportunities for hiking, fishing, and rafting. Picture misty mornings on the hills, the scent of damp leaves filling the air, and the sound of a distant creek. However, this beauty comes with challenges: icy winters, long winding roads, and an isolation that isn't for everyone. The state's tight-knit communities, built on tradition and neighborly support, host festivals that celebrate its Appalachian heritage. Imagine sharing a potluck meal after a long hike, swapping stories with neighbors who have lived in the same valley for generations. Yet for younger residents, the lack of economic opportunities often leads them to move to nearby states, leaving behind an aging population and struggling small towns. West Virginia's challenges stem from its historical dependence on coal, which once powered its economy but now leaves communities in economic decline. While efforts to diversify into tourism and technology are underway, infrastructure and connectivity remain slow to catch up. This creates a paradox: a state rich in natural beauty and cultural heritage, but hindered by economic stagnation. For retirees or those seeking a peaceful lifestyle at an affordable cost, West Virginia may offer exactly what they need: affordable homes, tranquil surroundings, and stunning landscapes. Imagine waking up to mountain views, where your only decision for the day is whether to go fishing or hiking. However, challenges persist. Access to healthcare in rural areas is limited, and low-lying regions face significant flooding risks due to climate change. The state's future depends on its ability to modernize while preserving its charm. Have you ever driven through a place so empty, so vast, that you wondered, how does anyone actually live here? Across America, there are states with more open land than people, where winters can freeze your breath mid-air, and isolation isn't just a choice, it's a way of life. From the brutal cold of Alaska to the windswept plains of North Dakota, these states are breathtaking, but they also come with challenges that make most people turn away. So why are they so empty? And could you survive in one of them? Let's take a journey through the loneliest places in America, starting now. 1. Alaska. Welcome to Alaska, America's final frontier, a wild, untamed paradise with towering mountains, vast glaciers, and wildlife straight out of a nature documentary. Despite its breathtaking beauty, most people would never dream of calling this place home. At first glance, Alaska seems like the ultimate adventure. It's the largest state in the United States, covering more than 663,000 square miles, but home to only about 740,000 people. That's roughly one person per square mile. To put it in perspective, if you were standing in the middle of Alaska, you might not see another soul for miles. Just endless forests, icy mountain peaks, and maybe a curious moose. Winter in Alaska isn't just cold, it's brutal. Temperatures regularly drop below -30 degrees Fahrenheit, and in the far northern regions it can plunge to -60 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to cut through your bones. In Utqiagvik, the sun sets in November and doesn't rise again until late January. That's 2 straight months of darkness. On the flip side, summer brings nearly 24 hours of daylight, with the sun barely dipping below the horizon. This constant shift between light and dark can disrupt sleep, moods, and even mental health. In Alaska, some communities are so remote that they can only be reached by plane or boat. In fact, less than 20% of Alaska is accessible by highway. This means everyday essentials like groceries, fuel, and medical supplies have to be flown in, making them extremely expensive. A gallon of milk can cost over $6 in rural areas. Heating bills skyrocket, especially during harsh winter. Housing isn't cheap either. The median home price hovers around $325,000, and that's not even counting the hefty energy costs needed to keep homes warm. Even with a median household income of about $75,000, higher than the national average, residents often find it tough to make ends meet. Alaska's economy rides the roller coaster of the oil industry. When oil prices are high, jobs flourish. But when prices fall, layoffs and budget cuts follow. This economic uncertainty makes it hard for people seeking long-term stability. Sure, there are other industries like fishing, tourism, and government work, but none offer the same level of security as in more densely populated states. How do you feel about the difficulties that Alaska is facing? Additionally, are you aware of any other issues this place is dealing with? We would love to hear your thoughts and insights in the comments below. 2. North Dakota. With a population of about 780,000 people in the year 2025, North Dakota is one of the least populated states in the United States. It is a land shaped by vast open prairies, rugged wilderness, and skies so expansive that you feel as if you can see the curve of the earth. But what keeps people from settling in this hidden corner of the country? Winters here often see temperatures drop to -30 degrees Fahrenheit, with wind chills that can freeze exposed skin in just a few minutes. Blizzards sweep across the plains with such force that entire towns shut down, schools, businesses, even highways. Even North Dakota's largest city, Fargo, feels more like a small town with fewer than 130,000 residents. It's the kind of place where everyone knows each other, and the nearest major city could be an entire state away. For those accustomed to vibrant nightlife or dynamic cultural scenes, Fargo's quiet streets can feel eerily calm. North Dakota's economy relies on agriculture and oil. Wheat fields stretch for miles, and sunflowers bloom in waves of gold every summer. The Bakken oil fields brought a surge of jobs during boom years, but oil is an unpredictable industry. Prices crash, jobs disappear, and once thriving towns can quickly become deserted. The average home price is around $260,000. Affordable, yes, but not enough to offset the sense of isolation for many. But here's the thing, for some, North Dakota is a hidden gem. The air is among the cleanest in the country, the crime rate is low, and there's a deep sense of community in small towns. The nights are breathtaking, with skies so clear you can see every star. If you value peace, quiet, and a connection to nature, North Dakota offers a simplicity that's hard to find elsewhere. Before moving on to explore the next state, I have a special request that will take just 10 seconds for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just hit the notification bell and press the subscribe button. That means the world. It really supports this channel a lot. And if you do that for me, I promise my team and I will do everything we can to make this show even more amazing for you. Do we have a deal? 3. Wyoming. Wyoming, the least populous state in the United States, where nature reigns supreme and solitude is easy to find. With more than 580,000 residents spread across nearly 97,000 square miles, Wyoming has an average of about 6 people per square mile. It's not just sparsely populated, it's almost empty compared to most other parts of the country. But why don't more people settle here? Wyoming's economy relies heavily on natural resources like coal, oil, and natural gas. Although these industries can be profitable, they are tied to global markets. When commodity prices drop, jobs disappear. This boom and bust cycle creates economic instability, making it hard for people seeking long-term opportunities. Beyond the energy sector and agriculture, there aren't many diverse career options. The median household income is around $64,000. But in smaller towns, job opportunities can be scarce and far apart. Geographically, Wyoming feels remote. Even its largest city, Cheyenne, has a population of only about 65,000 people. Public transportation is virtually non-existent, so owning a car is essential. Traveling from one town to another often means driving for hours through wide-open spaces. For those who crave solitude, it's paradise. But for many, the isolation can be overwhelming. Then, there's the weather. Winters are long, bitterly cold, and harsh. Temperatures frequently drop below 0 degrees, and blizzards can last for days, making roads dangerous and life challenging. The state averages about 50 inches of snow per year. Summers, though short, can be surprisingly hot, with temperatures soaring above 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Many homes and businesses don't have air conditioning, making summer days uncomfortably warm. Yet, for all its harshness, Wyoming has its rewards. There's a raw beauty here, the towering peaks of the Grand Tetons, the geothermal wonders of Yellowstone, and night skies filled with stars you can't see in crowded cities. There's freedom in the open space, a sense of peace that's hard to find anywhere else. This is a place where you can truly disconnect from the noise of modern life. Have you ever had the chance to experience the lives of the people here? What do you think is the most serious issue that Wyoming is facing? Feel free to share your experiences and thoughts with us in the comments below. 4. Montana. People don't call this place Big Sky Country for nothing. In Montana, the horizon stretches endlessly, adorned with towering mountains, rolling plains, and a vast sky so expansive it feels like it could swallow you whole. However, despite its breathtaking beauty, Montana has an unexpectedly empty feel. Covering more than 147,000 square miles, it is the fourth largest state in the United States, yet fewer than 1,150,000 people live here. That's fewer people than you'd find in a city like San Antonio, Texas, spread out over an area the size of Germany. Montana's economy is built on agriculture, tourism, and mining, industries rooted in hard work but not particularly appealing to young people seeking booming job markets. The median household income hovers around $60,000, which is below the national average. Outside of Billings or Missoula, job opportunities can be as sparse as the landscape itself, and while housing costs are reasonable, with median prices around $360,000, you might have to sacrifice modern conveniences. Montana's weather isn't for the faint of heart. Winters are brutal, with temperatures dropping below -20 degrees Fahrenheit in towns like Havre. Blizzards can isolate entire communities, rendering roads impassable for days or even weeks. Summers can bring warmth and beauty, but they also carry the constant threat of wildfires, burning through thousands of acres each year. Montana is home to one of the largest grizzly bear populations in the lower 48 states, with around 1,800 of these formidable creatures roaming the state's forests and mountains. Here, nature isn't just picturesque, it demands your respect. But Montana isn't all challenges. It's a paradise for outdoor enthusiasts. Glacier and Yellowstone National Parks attract millions of visitors each year, with crystal-clear lakes, rugged mountain peaks, and vast plains untouched by time. There's a raw, wild beauty here that makes you feel alive in a way crowded cities never could. Still, for most people, Montana is a place to visit, not to settle. Its wide-open spaces are stunning, but harsh winters, isolated communities, and limited job opportunities are things many aren't willing to endure long-term. 5. Maine. Maine is the kind of place that adorns postcards. Rugged coastlines, iconic lighthouses standing tall against crashing waves, and lobster shacks serving the freshest catches. But behind that charm lies a reality that's far from idyllic. With a population of just over 1.3 million people spread across an area of 35,380 square miles, Maine is one of the least populated states in the United States, and is one of the least populated states in the United States. While tourists flock to Maine for its picturesque beauty, many of its small towns are gradually becoming empty. Rural areas face a steady population decline as younger generations move to larger cities in search of better job opportunities. Maine's economy relies heavily on agriculture, primarily potatoes, tourism, and seafood. Lobster fishing is a major industry, bringing in over £4 million each year. But beyond these seasonal industries, finding stable, year-round employment can be quite challenging. The median household income is around $60,000, which sounds decent until you factor in Maine's high cost of living. Real estate prices, especially along the picturesque coastline, can soar surprisingly high, with the median home price hovering around $320,000. Add to that the hefty heating bills necessary to survive the harsh winters, and the financial picture becomes even tighter. Winters in Maine are not for the faint of heart. The state averages over 70 inches of snow annually, with temperatures often dropping below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Fierce storms can render roads impassable for days, cutting off essential services from remote homes. In rural areas, where houses are spaced far apart, winter isolation isn't just a possibility, it's a certainty. But for those who can weather the storms, Maine offers unparalleled natural beauty. From the rugged cliffs of Acadia National Park to the peaceful stillness of dense pine forests, it's a paradise for outdoor enthusiasts. The coastline stretches for miles, offering breathtaking views and a connection to nature that's hard to find anywhere else. 6. South Dakota. South Dakota is often overlooked, overshadowed by its northern neighbor. But when it comes to population, it is just as sparse. With approximately 910,000 people spread across 77,000 square miles, the state averages only about 11 people per square mile. In comparison, New Jersey packs more than 1,200 people into the same space. South Dakota's weather swings from one extreme to the other. Winters are harsh, with temperatures frequently dropping below -10 degrees Fahrenheit, accompanied by fierce blizzards and icy roads that make travel dangerous. Summers are no more forgiving, bringing scorching heat and severe thunderstorms, often with hail the size of golf balls. Tornadoes are also common, with an average of 36 touching down each year. These conditions make farming an unpredictable and challenging livelihood. Agriculture, tourism, and mining drive South Dakota's economy. Mount Rushmore and Badlands National Park attract millions of visitors annually, but beyond these popular tourist spots, job opportunities are limited. The median household income is around $63,000, lower than the national average, and many young residents leave in search of broader career prospects. Although housing is relatively affordable, with a median price of about $280,000, rural living comes with trade-offs. High-speed internet can be unreliable, public transportation is virtually non-existent, and entertainment options are few and far between. For those accustomed to city conveniences, the isolation can feel overwhelming. What South Dakota lacks in population, it makes up for in natural beauty. The Black Hills offer rugged landscapes and scenic drives, while vast prairies stretch to the horizon. Outdoor enthusiasts can find plenty to explore, from hiking and camping to stargazing under skies untouched by city lights. For many, South Dakota is a destination, a place to experience the raw beauty of America's heartland. But living here? That's a different story. Harsh climates, limited economic opportunities, and rural isolation often outweigh the appeal of wide-open spaces. 7. Vermont. Vermont, a place of vibrant autumn leaves, lush green hills, charming covered bridges, and maple syrup stands lining winding roads. But hidden behind this picturesque beauty is a reality that has kept Vermont's population stagnant for many years. As of 2025, only about 650,000 people call Vermont home, making it one of the least populated states in the United States. Vermont's economy relies heavily on agriculture, small businesses, and tourism. While the state's dairy farms produce more than 63% of New England's milk, this industry faces declining profits and chronic labor shortages. Tourism spikes in the fall and during ski season, but the lack of year-round opportunities forces many residents to juggle seasonal jobs just to make a living. The median household income is around $65,000, which isn't substantial when considering Vermont's high cost of living. The average home price is about $370,000, and strict zoning laws combined with limited housing availability make it difficult for newcomers to settle. Despite the state's charm, many young people move away in search of greater career opportunities in larger urban centers. Winters in Vermont aren't just cold, they're harsh. Temperatures often drop below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, and snowstorms can dump several feet of snow, turning rural roads into hazardous pathways. Public transportation is limited, meaning that without a reliable vehicle, navigating Vermont's icy terrain can be a serious challenge. Despite these challenges, Vermont holds an undeniable appeal. It consistently ranks as one of the safest states in the United States, prides itself on a strong focus on sustainability, and offers some of the finest farm-to-table dining experiences in the country. Its tight-knit communities and pristine natural beauty attract those seeking peace and simplicity, far from the hustle and bustle of city life. For many, Vermont is the perfect getaway, a place to enjoy fall foliage, cozy cabins, and crisp mountain air. But living here year-round is a different story. The combination of a challenging economy, severe winters, and rural isolation makes Vermont a state that people love to visit, but few choose to stay. 8. Nebraska. Nebraska may be famous for its endless cornfields and vast cattle ranches, but hidden behind the charm of agriculture is a surprising truth. Nebraska has a population problem. With about 1.9 million people spread across 77,000 square miles, the state's population density is among the lowest in the United States. If you're not a fan of wide-open plains, long stretches of highway, and vast empty skies, Nebraska might feel a bit desolate. Nebraska's weather is both unpredictable and harsh. Winters can be brutally cold, with temperatures dropping to -10 degrees Fahrenheit, accompanied by fierce winds sweeping across the plains. Conversely, summers are scorching, often reaching above 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Add occasional droughts to the mix, and you've got conditions that make farming, especially corn and wheat, a risky business. Nebraska experiences between 14 and 20 tornadoes each year, placing it squarely in the heart of Tornado Alley. The economy here relies heavily on agriculture, livestock, and energy. While these sectors can be profitable, they don't offer much diversity in job opportunities. Lincoln, the state capital, provides roles in education and healthcare, but beyond that, options are limited. The median household income hovers around $65,000, with the average home price around $300,000, fairly affordable compared to the national average, but not enough to offset the economic monotony for many. Life in Nebraska means wide-open spaces, but it also means fewer entertainment options and social opportunities. The University of Nebraska's Cornhuskers dominate the local sports scene, drawing passionate crowds on game days. But if you're looking for vibrant nightlife, cultural attractions, or big city vibes, you'll find it challenging. Despite the challenges, Nebraska has its unique charms. It's peaceful, affordable, and boasts some of the lowest crime rates in the country. The sunsets over the prairies are spectacular, and for those who find comfort in solitude, the open spaces can feel like a private retreat. For many, Nebraska is a place they pass through rather than a destination to settle. The natural beauty and agricultural charm are undeniable, but the harsh weather, limited job diversity, and rural isolation make it a tough sell for most people. 9. New Hampshire. New Hampshire is the kind of place that draws you in with its picturesque landscapes, rolling mountains, crystal-clear lakes, and dense forests ablaze with color every fall. But behind that charming beauty lies a state that might surprise you when it comes to calling it home. With a population of approximately 1.4 million people spread across 9,300 square miles, New Hampshire ranks as one of the least populated states in the United States. One of the biggest reasons for New Hampshire's low population? The cost of living. Although there is no sales tax or income tax, which sounds like a dream, the trade-off comes in the form of high property taxes. The median home price hovers around $400,000, significantly higher than the national average. Add to that the high costs of utilities and healthcare, and suddenly, the tax-free appeal becomes a little less enticing. The job market isn't as diverse as you might expect. New Hampshire's economy relies heavily on manufacturing, technology, and tourism, but beyond these industries, options are limited. The median household income is around $77,000, a respectable figure, but many people find that the available jobs don't align with their career goals. Younger generations often pack up and head to cities like Boston or New York, where there are more job opportunities and higher salaries. If the cost of living doesn't discourage you, the weather might. Winters here are long, harsh, and unforgiving. Temperatures frequently dip below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, and snowfall can exceed 70 inches per year. For those living in remote areas, commuting can become challenging when snow-covered roads are the norm. The state's elevation also means shorter summers and extreme temperature fluctuations throughout the year. Despite these barriers, New Hampshire has its own set of advantages. It consistently ranks high in education, public safety, and healthcare. The state offers a strong sense of community, especially in its charming small towns where neighbors know each other by name. For those who value peace, natural beauty, and a slower pace of life, New Hampshire offers something special. New Hampshire is a paradise for travelers seeking outdoor adventures and postcard-worthy scenery, but living here year-round is a different story. The harsh winters, high cost of living, and limited job market make it a challenging place to settle down long-term. If you found today's video interesting, don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Your support is very important to us. Be sure to check out the next video appearing on your screen. You're sure to love the content we bring. Please leave a comment about which country you'd like us to explore next. Thank you for watching, and see you in the latest video. If you've been keeping up with the buzz, you're likely aware that states such as Texas and Florida are magnets for new residents. But ever wonder where all these folks are coming from? That's exactly what we're diving into today on Across the Globe. Did you know that despite Alaska paying people to move there, it's still not enough to draw in folks from other states? Or that Illinois is facing a serious population decline, with residents labeling it the worst state due to high taxes? We're peeling back the layers to reveal the top 10 states everyone is leaving in 2024. Stick around as we explore these challenges and more, shedding light on why these states are seeing such a dramatic drop in their populations. 10. New Jersey. New Jersey is often in the spotlight for its high outbound migration. Did you know that in the year 2020, New Jersey saw the highest number of people moving out compared to any other state? New Jersey, with its vibrant mosaic of cultures. Nearly 1 in 4 residents hail from overseas, drawn by the state's abundant job opportunities. But here's the twist. While New Jersey boasts the third highest median household income in the nation at $85,000, it's also one of the priciest places to live. The state's wealthy residents face a hefty state income tax, peaking at 10.75%, and the highest effective property tax rate nationwide at 2.5%. Especially when nearly half of those leaving earn over $150,000 annually. Now, consider the housing market. The median home value, at $382,000, might not raise eyebrows at first glance, but pair this with the highest population density in the U.S., 1.218 people per square mile, and you've got a recipe for people seeking more affordable, spacious, and warmer locales. It's no surprise, then, that many New Jerseyans are packing their bags for Florida and the Carolinas. Stay tuned as we uncover a surprising trend among New Yorkers later in this video, navigating through the high costs and taxes that are pushing many to seek new horizons. 9. New York. New York. Once a powerhouse of population growth, New York has seen a shift. Since 2010, it's been one of only 6 states with a shrinking population. And with Florida's population boom, New York is no longer the third largest state. In the year 2020, a whopping 67% of all moves were people leaving the state. And guess what? A significant 63% of the net 80,000 people who left New York in the year 2020 were from New York City. But it's not just the pandemic that's driving New Yorkers away. The high cost of living and steep taxes are major turnoffs, especially in New York City. And let's not forget the harsh winters and lackluster job opportunities upstate. Despite a surge in international immigration, New York's population still saw a decrease of 0.393% last year. As of the year 2023, the population has further decreased by 3.1% since the year 2020. And opportunity. Coming up, we delve into Mississippi's unique challenges, from job scarcity to health dilemmas. Discover why these issues are reshaping its demographic landscape. 8. Mississippi. Mississippi. Despite being known as the poorest state in the country, it's only the 8th fastest shrinking. But think about it. Maybe this is because they can't afford to leave, so leaving isn't an option for many, given the scarcity of well-paying jobs. With a median household income now at $53,000 and a poverty rate of 19.1%, it's a tough situation. It's quite telling that 71% of those who managed to leave last year did so for job opportunities. Mississippi faces significant health challenges. It has the highest obesity rate in the nation. 20.5% are regular smokers. Combine this with some of the poorest healthcare outcomes in the U.S., and you get the lowest life expectancy in the country, now standing at just 74.6 years. Add to this the second highest rate of premature births linked to high-teen pregnancy rates, and you'll see why Mississippi also experienced a natural population decrease. It's a complex mix of economic and health issues that's shaping the state's demographic landscape. Later, we'll explore how Connecticut's chilling climate, soaring costs, and stark wealth divide are driving a surprising demographic shift. Stay tuned. 7. Connecticut. You know, most folks in the Northeast tolerate the cold weather and high living costs mainly for job opportunities. But now, with the rise of online work, they're finding fewer reasons to stay, opting instead for warmer, more affordable locales, with 63.5% of moves being outbound. Interestingly, while many Connecticut residents flock to Florida, not everyone is escaping to retire or dodge high taxes and living costs. States like New York, California, and Massachusetts, known for their higher taxes and living costs, were among the top destinations for those leaving Connecticut. Take Stamford, for instance, which is incredibly affluent. On the flip side, you have places like Hartford, struggling with a poverty rate of 28.1%, despite median home values being just $124,000. This highlights the stark wealth division in the state. Overall, Connecticut's population saw a decrease of 0.173%, making it a place with rapid population decline. Coming up, we'll reveal why Oregon's once steady population growth is now at a crossroads, facing a potential decline due to skyrocketing housing costs. Don't miss this segment. 6. Oregon. Oregon. Known for its consistent population growth, Oregon is now experiencing a decline for the first time in over 30 years. Between July the year 2021 and July the year 2023, the state saw its population decrease by 0.1%, which might not sound like much, but it's significant. The last time Oregon witnessed a population decrease was way back in 1982, and that was just a 0.1% drop. As of the year 2024, the median value of owner-occupied housing units in Oregon has soared to $423,100. While this somewhat aligns with national averages, it represents a significant increase over the years. This rise in housing costs is making it challenging for many residents to stay, contributing to the population decrease. It's a clear sign that even states known for their appeal are not immune to the pressures of housing affordability and economic changes. 5. Hawaii. The steep cost of living and wages that struggle to keep pace played a role in the 0.33% population dip last year. Countless mainlanders fall head over heels for the islands while vacationing, yet only a handful leap to move to the Aloha state. Why? The costly and complex process of relocating everything across the ocean is a major deterrent. And embracing the Aloha lifestyle? That's another story. Only some manage to truly adapt. So, the distance from family becomes too much, or the cultural shift is just too great. As a result, most newcomers pack up and head back within 2 years. Add to this the transient nature of Hawaii's large military population and locals being priced out of their homes, since Hawaii is, by a significant margin, the priciest state. This led to a striking figure: 14,000 more Hawaii residents moved to the mainland than mainlanders moving to Hawaii. 4. Alaska. It's the most spread out state in America, 1.27 people per square mile. You'd think with everyone moving away from crowded cities, Alaska would be popular, but it turns out it's just too remote for most people and way too cold. Here's something interesting. Alaska pays people to live there. But even with that incentive, last year, 9,000 more people moved out than moved in. Back in 2016, Alaska's population was booming, with over 740,000 people, mostly thanks to the oil industry. But when oil prices and demand dropped, so did the number of people living there. Plus, there are a lot of military folks who come and go, which also affects the numbers. Yes, Alaska is stunningly beautiful, but the long, dark winters, high cost of living, and being so far from everything else in the U.S. just aren't worth it for many people. However, our next 3 states will make a strong impression on you. And before we explore, I have a special 10-second request for all of you currently listening. If you could help me in any way, just pressing that subscribe button would mean a lot. It greatly supports this channel, and if you do that for me, I promise my team and I will do everything we can to make this show even better for you. Do we have a deal? 3. Louisiana. Louisiana has been on a bit of a downward trend over the last half-decade, primarily due to a slump in the oil and gas sectors, pillars of the state's economy. And with the bulk of alternative employment being in the low-paying tourism and service industries, it's hardly surprising that a whopping 73% of those hitting the road are in pursuit of better job opportunities. Yet, it's interesting to note that only 52.7% of total moves in the state last year were outbound migrations. Despite this, the population dipped by 0.233%. This decline can be attributed to Louisiana's less-than-stellar healthcare system, ranking second worst nationally, alongside having the 3rd highest rate of smokers, the 7th highest obesity figures, and the 5th lowest life expectancy. Heart disease and cancer are the grim reapers here, claiming nearly 90% of deaths across the state. Surprisingly, it's quite odd that Mississippi, considered the only state worse than Louisiana to live in, is the 2nd most popular state that people from Louisiana are moving to the most. Up next, we'll uncover why Illinois' daunting tax rates are pushing residents to seek better opportunities elsewhere. Stay with us. 2. Illinois. You might be quick to point fingers at New York for its steep taxes, but Illinois takes the cake with the highest effective median total tax rate in the nation, soaring over 15%. And let's not overlook the property tax rate, sitting at 2.16%, the 2nd highest. It's hardly a shocker, then, that nearly half of Illinoisans have pondered packing up due to these financial burdens, with sky-high taxes topping their list of grievances. The lure of better housing and job prospects elsewhere, not to mention more agreeable weather, also plays a significant role. It's telling that the top 6 destinations for those leaving Illinois, Florida, Texas, California, Arizona, Washington, and North Carolina. All boast considerably milder winters. On paper, Illinois might seem pretty middle of the road in many statistical measures, but the sentiment on the ground tells a different story. A staggering 25% of residents dubbed their state the worst place to live. This dissatisfaction is a key driver behind Illinois, being the second fastest shrinking state since 2010. The state saw a net population decline of 0.403%, with a whopping 66.4% of all moves being exits. This trend underscores a growing desire for change among Illinoisans, many of whom are voting with their feet in search of a better quality of life. 1. West Virginia, a state that has long been intertwined with the coal mining industry. As America's reliance on coal has dramatically decreased, the mountain state finds itself in a tough spot, with seemingly no rescue. The job market here is bleak, leading to West Virginia having the second lowest median household income in the nation at just $48,800 and a poverty rate of 16%. This economic hardship has prompted many who can afford to leave, making it the fastest shrinking state since 2010. The surprise is that only 59% of the population decline is attributed to net migration out of the state. The remaining 41% comes from a natural decrease, as the younger generation, those who are still in their childbearing years, are also leaving. This exodus leaves behind an increasingly older population that also suffers from the second lowest life expectancy in the country. Last year, West Virginia's population decreased by 0.673%, making it, by a significant margin, the fastest shrinking state of 2021. The situation paints a stark picture of a state in need of a turnaround, as it grapples with the challenges of a changing economy and demographic shifts. If you found this video enlightening, please give it a like to support our work. Share it with friends and family who might be contemplating their next move or are curious about these trends. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more insightful content that helps you stay informed about the world around you. Together, let's explore the forces shaping our lives and communities. Thank you for watching. And until next time, keep seeking your place in this ever-changing world.